Hi, welcome back to the DZB Sports Podcast. I'm happy to be back this week. We have a great show planned for you, and let's get started.
All right, so we're going to start today out with the Heisman, because today's a big day. Get to figure out the Heisman, who's going to win it. So we'll start out with Z. Who do you think is going to win the Heisman this year and why?
Well, I have some thoughts on this. I do think Kyler Murray should win the Heisman, but I do think there's a lot of disrespect being thrown at Dwayne Haskins. I do think, what does the front page say? Tua versus Kyler. What was it?
Yeah, who will win Heisman? Kyler versus Tua is the historic battle.
I don't think Haskins. I want Haskins to win. I know he won't. He'll probably end up being third. Everybody knows that. But he still has stats to be in the conversation. I think it should be all three of them up there.
I mean, the reason why you're getting these two as the historic battle, I mean, they're playing each other in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're both in the playoffs.
It's an awesome story, but I still think you got to give respect. I know you're not an Ohio State fan. You're not an Ohio State fan. You respect how Dwayne Haskins has played.
He's played well.
He's played fantastic.
His stats are lopsided because he does have over 200 more attempts.
He does throw a lot.
But he still has had a good enough year to be not completely discluded for this conversation. I'll give you that.
For having 496 attempts and having a 70% completion rating, that's pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, and
he is throwing a lot more.
He made 375 passes.
And his yards per attempt is 2 less than the other guys. That's kind of an important stat.
It is definitely an important stat.
He had quick receivers. He dumped it off a lot. I'll give him that. But I still think he deserves to be in this conversation.
He deserves to be in the conversation, yes. But my opinion on it is, I think Tua deserves to win it. But I think Kyler will win it. Here's why I think Tua deserves to win it. Tua has played a total of 8 plays in the fourth quarter.
That's an impressive stat.
I mean, people can say, oh, it's because Bama plays a poopy schedule. They don't. They're in the SEC. The SEC is the best conference.
Tua would have played a lot more snaps in the fourth quarter if he didn't get hurt against Georgia.
Yeah.
I get that. But, one game, everyone has that one game, right? I mean, you're going to have that. Tua still, not playing the fourth quarter, and his stats are still up there with all theirs.
That's crazy. But
his touchdown interception ratio was 37-4.
Are you surprised though? Alabama has just dominated the season all the way through.
Yeah, I mean they have that. I do think it's gonna be Kyler Murray though, because we looked this up before. Since 2002, only 2 winners of the AP Player of the Year have not won the Heisman. Kyler won the AP Player of the Year, but the College Football Awards, Tua got the Maxwell Player of the Year and the Walter Camp Player of the Year, which is also 2 Player of the Year awards. So I don't really know where they're going with this, or what are they thinking there. I don't
The last 5 Walter Camp winners won the Heisman, and the last 4 Maxwell winners have won the Heisman. And only 2 players since 2002 have won the AP Player of the Year and not won the Heisman, and that's Ndamukong Suh and Christian McCaffrey.
So what it sounds like is
it's just those.
This is the first year that maybe
we don't have a landslide.
That the AP Player of the Year and the Maxwell or the other awards has not been the same.
I agree with
and
that.
Tua has won both Maxwell and Walter Camp, but Kyler Murray has the AP Player of the Year. So I don't know.
It definitely is going to lead to some controversy whichever way it goes. I do think Kyler's going to get it because he is more of an explosive player. He has more of an explosive offense. They score more points. But Tua just is so much more efficient in my opinion.
Yeah. I like Kyler a lot in this one. Actually by a good amount over Tua in the votings. I think he'll definitely have quite a big advantage over Tua when it comes down to voting. He's one of only 2 players since 2000 with 4,000 passing yards and 800 rushing yards. The last one was Deshaun Watson in 2015, and I know he didn't win the Heisman, but
Lamar Jackson.
He had Lamar Jackson, and his numbers were a little down. Deshaun Watson had 35 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, where Kyler Murray's got 51 total touchdowns, which leads all of football in only 7 interceptions. He's on pace for the highest passer rating and yards per attempt in FBS history. Yards per attempt almost at 12 at 11.9.
Really?
And passer rating is 205.7. So he's going to shatter both those records.
For sure.
Baker Mayfield is the one who set those records, who won the Heisman Trophy. And he set them last year, and now they're about to be just absolutely shattered.
Oklahoma quarterbacks.
Baker Mayfield was at 11.5 yards per attempt and a 198 passer rating. And Kyler Murray's at 11.9 yards per attempt and 205 passer rating. So, if Baker wins it last year with those numbers and Kyler comes in and puts up all these, I would imagine that Kyler's got way more rushing yards than Baker did with 900, more rushing touchdowns with 11. So I just think Kyler Murray comes out, plays very well. Not very easy to fill the shoes of a Heisman level quarterback like Baker Mayfield. But he comes in and just plays fantastic, and in all ways he outplays Baker.
Yeah.
I think this raises the question for what sport is Kyler going to play professionally?
I mean,
seventh overall draft pick in MLB draft, probably has the talent to be a first round draft pick in the NFL.
That's impressive.
It's you really just wonder.
Yeah, so he's come out and said that he wants to play baseball. In my opinion, it makes the most sense. The $4.6 million he has guaranteed signing.
For signing his name.
That's pretty hard to turn down. He could try to do both, but at the quarterback position, I don't think you can commit the time to both baseball and football.
I think the thing is that if he were to start out in baseball, he's going to get the 4.6 for signing his name, and then he's going to, if it doesn't work out for like the time.
I'm sure NFL teams would still love to have
develop him. He's only 21. So I think he will have a future whatever sport he wants.
Get the money now, and if it doesn't work out, go play football later.
Exactly. Save your body.
It's a win-win situation.
Because he's a bit undersized. I believe he's like 5'11".
Yeah, he's
5'10".
similar to Baker's size. I don't know.
So I mean, not many quarterbacks have had great success stories under 6 foot. I mean, I know Drew Brees and Russell Wilson are doing fantastic right now.
Those are two.
But that's once in however many years.
You don't get that very often.
So it would be smart for him to start out with baseball. Definitely get the money. He loves baseball. He's been fantastic. Had a great season at Oklahoma this past year. 7th overall draft pick. He'd definitely be a top pick in the NFL draft as well. I don't believe first round, but easily top 3 rounds. But first round talent. But I don't think the teams want to take a risk on him. I think he stays with baseball.
Yeah, I agree with that. So
can I argue a little Dwayne Haskins for a second? I have some stats I want to share. Okay, so against top 30 Power 5 defenses this season, Haskins has thrown for 332.7 yards per game, 10 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Those games were TCU, Michigan State, and Michigan. Tua, 209 yards per game, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 3 games, Mississippi State, LSU, and Georgia. Kyler Murray, 264 yards per game, 4 touchdowns, only 1 game, that was TCU. Against top 10 defenses, Haskins has thrown for 430 yards and 6 touchdowns. 140 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And Kyler Murray has not played a top 10 defense.
I have a quick question for you. Can you rename those defenses that Tua played?
Tua played Mississippi State, LSU, and Georgia.
Quick question. Would you rather take a talent position of Mississippi State, LSU, and Georgia, or Michigan State, TCU, and Michigan?
Okay, I think LSU has a better defense than Michigan State.
Did you just argue that TCU was a top team? Did you?
Top 30 Power 5 defense.
That's just what they are.
They're a top 30 Power 5 defense.
They're 6-6 in the Big 12.
Yeah, but they're still a top 30 Power 5 defense. That doesn't change the fact. I'm not saying he should win, but I think this should be in consideration, and he should give the respect that he deserves.
Yeah, it's definitely a good argument for Haskins. I'm sure he threw more attempts in those games.
He threw a lot more attempts.
He definitely threw a lot, but I mean, he didn't have a bad game this year, really. In his bad game, he threw for 470.
Exactly.
I mean, he threw it 73 times, but he threw for 470 yards.
No,
so the guy didn't have a bad game all year.
Yeah,
he really did.
And with this being said, Drake, I'm not trying to argue that he should win. I just wanted to give a few stats.
Another thing you gotta look at is against TCU, Oklahoma put up 52 points, so that top 30 defense really didn't show out.
Yeah. Teams have bad games. That's your argument for a lot of things. People have bad days.
But yeah,
I still think those are solid stats to have. I just thought I'd share them.
They're great stats.
Don't think he should be over anybody, but I just thought I'd share those stats with you guys.
Alright, that's fair enough. So there's the Heisman. So final votes. Let's hear yours, Brody.
Kyler by at least 10 votes.
Kyler.
Tua.
I mean, Brody,
just for the arguments, or actually?
Just for the arguments. But I mean, I think he actually has a legitimate chance. I do think I think, like I said, I think he deserves it the most. That's why I think he's going to win it. And then he puts the best player, best team ratio into that, and that's a big factor
Yeah,
as well.
me and Brody were talking earlier this week about how it is the best player on the best team usually.
Usually, yeah, of course, best player on the best team.
Unless like that one year when Lamar Jackson had the
but
crazy year.
That was,
he was
a freak.
incredible. When he had like 1,500 rushing
He had
yards.
2 years like that, but his team did horrible next year. So.
And he had a better stats the next year they did the year before. Wasn't in contention.
Exactly.
And I mean, younger guys have been winning it more recently.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tua is younger. They take that into account.
Yeah,
I'm not
good.
sure, but Tua's still got another year of college football no matter what.
So he's gonna have
he'll come back. He'll come back and
have
he'll play good.
If it's not this year, it's definitely going to be next year.
The thing that hurts him is Jalen Hurts. I mean,
Yeah.
having Jalen Hurts as your backup, I know Saban likes to work him in a lot.
Yes,
for
he does.
sure.
So he gets some snaps.
I know it's fourth quarter and they're usually up by a lot when Hurts comes in, but Saban has all of his trust still in Hurts. He loves Hurts, loves playing him. You saw that interview after the game against Georgia.
Hurts loves to be
He's
there.
crying.
Yeah.
Saban's crying just because he's so happy for Hurts, and I think that just kind of hurts Tua a little bit, having that to worry about in his back pocket, back of his mind, that he could come in at any moment, exactly like he did against Georgia, and that's probably what really put the dagger in Tua winning the Heisman for me. Just seeing Hurts come in and
Do the same thing. Yeah.
He outperformed Tua in the Georgia game.
Do you guys think Jalen Hurts should transfer?
Yes.
Where do you think he would be
I
best
don't-
landing
I don't-
spot?
I don't
I
think he will.
seriously believe
You don't
that.
think so?
I mean, I think Kyler's gonna be gone next year. I think if we put Hurts in a system with Lincoln Riley's, he would thrive there.
I don't think he leaves. The interview that he had after the Georgia game said that after the national championship game, he was crying in his dad's arms, and his dad said, "You just got to work to get back at it," and that's what he wants to do.
I understand
he
that.
knows he belongs here, and
Yeah.
he can play with the best top
He's
level.
a great quarterback.
but-
I'm sure there's a bunch of schools out there that would love to have him.
I mean, I'd love to have money in the UNC Tar Heels. And we missed out on Kelly Bryant
You
going
know,
to Mizzou.
Ohio
but
State or I don't know. I don't know
Tate
how I feel
Martell?
about Tate Martell next year. Maybe having Jalen Hurts at Ohio State transfer. I don't know. I don't know. If
Definitely.
it probably will not happen ever, but that would be cool.
On the topic of college football, we have just found out that Will Greer will be skipping his bowl game. What do we think about players, skipping bowl
Well,
games?
This is my thought on it. You played at that university for a while. You have to be loyal. I don't know. I think you played your bowl game.
You owe them Will Greer's
your
different
last game of
because
your
he's
college,
played
yeah.
like what, 1 or 2 years there because he
This is his
transferred from
second
Florida.
season.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's a
they
different case.
support you. They go to your games. They cheer. I mean, you owe them the respect.
Yeah, you got to try to win one last game, especially a bowl game with the teammates that you've suffered through off-season workouts, through the season, during the heat. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's selfish. I think you
I
just
think it
gotta
is
show
selfish.
respect. I mean, you're playing quarterback. If you won't want to get hurt, then don't run. You just throw the ball.
But at the same time, I do see the other side. You can miss millions of dollars in the NFL if you do have a serious injury. But still, at the same time,
you don't see that happen very often, unless you're like Alex Smith with a freak injury there. But
what was it, Jake Butt a few years ago? Did he get hurt in the bowl game?
yeah, but he got
signed
in the
still.
NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, situations like that, it could be a lot worse.
You're right. I
But I still argue. I do think they should play in the bowl game.
Pretty
But I
good.
see both sides.
What are your thoughts on that one, bro?
I'm gonna take the hot side of this topic, and I'm perfectly alright with it actually.
Really?
The risk of getting hurt in the Camping World Bowl against Syracuse. I mean, do you really play that football game? We saw what happened to Syracuse when they played a good opponent in Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat them by 30. I don't think this game's important at all. I think his coaches understand. I think his teammates understand. I mean, he is a freak talent.
He is.
He's an incredible quarterback, probably top 5 quarterback in this year's draft. And
For
just
sure.
the risk is not worth it. Especially his starting tackle is skipping the bowl game as well. So he's missing a starting alignment.
I did not see
not
that.
know
I did not see that.
He's missing a starting alignment, and it's just not worth it for him. That risk just is increasing now because he can't be taking any
Yeah,
hits.
you're right.
Left
I
tackle,
did not-
that's his blind side too.
I was
It
not
just
made
takes
aware
one.
of that.
It takes one hit.
It
Exactly.
just takes one hit for him, and I mean,
I mean,
I get it that he's a quarterback. He's the leader.
you look at
but-
Alex Smith's injury, like he's
And,
going to see something
and
like
you
that.
see he got stabbed when he was getting
Yeah,
surgery.
he's
so
having complications in his surgery.
they
He
said
may
that
not
he
play
may not
football
play
ever
ever
again.
again.
So I do see your side of the
It's
argument.
like
There's definitely two ways to that argument for sure.
it's something that I'm alright with. He's the leader of the team. I get it. He'll still be there, right? Will he be at the
I'm
game?
not sure. That hasn't come out yet.
I think he at
It
least
says
he
he's
should
it
be at
said
the
he's
game.
focusing on draft prep, so I doubt he'll be there. But
I mean, he's led them this far. They gotta understand.
That makes me mad. He should at least go to the game and support his
Yeah.
team. I mean, And that upsets me.
The players understand. They realize how much of a talent he is, how grateful they were to have played with him.
Yeah.
I think
he did a lot for the team this
he
year.
definitely did. I mean, West Virginia having 2 fantastic years in a row. He
Yeah.
definitely turned.
If it wasn't for that
turned them
one
around.
dumb loss, who did it? Was it Kansas State or something like that?
Oklahoma
State. So it wasn't. If
Or
it wasn't
Iowa
for,
State.
Yeah, if it wasn't for one of those, then they'd be in contention of one of the 4 spots there. But
yeah, I mean, I think it's an alright move.
we're gonna see a lot more players skip their bowl. I think Ed Oliver came out and says he's not playing.
Ed Oliver's
so
skipping. So
we're gonna see a lot more of that. And in NBA news, how about Delly back to the Cavs? You love to see it. You love to see Delly in the Cavs uniform. I love the trade though. I mean, they're getting rid of a $18 million contract in George Hill. I mean, Colin Sexton's obviously the future in Cleveland.
and they're getting a first rounder.
2021, but
first
yes.
and
But
second
hey,
round.
it's
It's
first
protected
round,
top
second
15, so it's protected lottery pick in 2021. So that's a big play there.
But we are also receiving John Henson in the trade, and he is
UNC
out.
boy.
He's out for the season.
UNC boy.
Yeah.
Love to see that. But yes, he was going to return in the playoffs, but you don't have to worry about that one.
One big thing is, I think Delly having, Colin Sexton looking up to Delly and having him as a mentor is
Defense.
huge.
I think they may sound weird, but they're kind of similar players. You know,
Colin's a
he's
dog.
He's
a dog.
He's going to play defense, and Delly loves the defense. You know.
Delly's just going to make him better each and every day. Challenging him. He's a great leader.
Yeah, he's going to be able to score better
Exactly.
when he's
You
Delly
look
on
at
him.
that, the finals a few years ago when Delly, it was
Shut down
Delly
Curry.
and LeBron basically. He shut down Curry.
Shut down Curry.
Literally went to the hospital after because he was dehydrated. He was playing so hard.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna leave it all.
You love
on
to
the
have a
court.
guy like that in the locker room.
And I mean, this may sound like some UNC bias, but John Henson can play. I mean, if he's
He's a
gonna
good player.
be, if he's gonna be a piece in the Cavs' future, I mean, they could use him for sure.
I don't like losing Sam Decker.
Yeah, this definitely, for me, at least confirms the tank. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
you get rid of George Hill, a veteran point
point
guard.
guard.
You get rid of Sam Decker,
I don't know
young
if I-
talent, playing well this year.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Until he
like
got hurt,
losing
yeah.
that, but I think it's worth it in the trade.
And they also swapped picks with Milwaukee in the second round, and they sent a 2021 to Washington and a 2022. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they're getting a lot of picks. I think they're building up for the draft the next few years, trying to get some nice components to their team.
I don't think they're
Definitely
done yet,
rebuild
but
mode right now.
I do not think that the Cavs are done with trading yet. Obviously, they're gonna get rid of JR. That's it. I heard the Rockets are showing interest there.
I think TT Thompson's on the block a
I
little
don't know.
bit.
He's
Call
had
me
a
crazy.
really good year.
Call me crazy, trade Kevin Love. I don't know.
I mean,
I like having him in the locker room. I love
it's-
Kevin Love.
I
He can't
get
stay
that.
healthy, but he's a great scorer. You'll get something out of him. I just think you get.
I agree. It's a business. I know he's signed a long-term extension and he wants to be there, but
I
if
love
you're
Kevin
really gonna endorse the rebuild, what is he, 31, 32?
30. He's pushing 30. Yeah.
I mean, I love K-Love, but you can't have that. I mean,
He's
you're
developed a
gonna
better all-around game. He can shoot outside. He can score inside.
There's definitely a contender that's going to want him. I mean, look at the Rockets right now are struggling, and they were offering 4 first-round picks for Jimmy Butler. You tell me we can't get 1 or 2 for
Exactly.
Kevin Love.
Yeah. You'll get something solid out of Kevin Love. He's still a
1 or
great
2,
player.
and then maybe like a role player, like maybe I know that Eric Gordon came out and said I'm not having fun here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, not that you have much more fun.
He's
Cleveland,
an
but-
all-star talented player. Something
Yeah,
if
so-
healthy.
So I definitely
But
think
yeah,
that
they're
they are rebuilding.
not done at all for sure. That
They have a
contract
lot of work.
with K-Love, he's got a big old contract.
I love having
Thompson,
TT though.
Thompson's still on his big contract,
Second to last in the East.
but
But
I mean the
TT
Rockets are second to last in the West. So
Really?
the Rockets are in what is it,
Yeah.
16th, 15th place in the West.
Speaking of that, I mean,
That's
are they in
incredible.
serious trouble though? Do you believe that they are in trouble
Yeah.
to not make the
The
playoffs?
Rockets
I think
are in some major
They
trouble.
made a great move by letting Carmelo go.
I do.
That's a
But
fantastic
they made the
move.
worst move by getting rid of Trevor Ariza. That has killed
Yeah,
them.
I don't get that move at all.
I mean, Harden's a tough guy to play with. I feel like he likes getting his. He's a dribble it, try to attack, and then pass if he can't get anything. He's always been score first. He dribbles out the shot clock. Guys get bored playing with him.
No defense.
Because I mean, he doesn't contribute defensively. On the offense side of the ball, out of the 24-second shot clock, Harden's got the ball in his hands for at least 18
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
So guys are just standing around getting bored. Eric Gordon, you said he's not happy.
No.
He's not getting.
Chris Paul needs to step up and demand the
The
ball
thing is,
more and
they're
make
paying
an
Chris
offense.
Paul $40 million, and
Useless.
I mean, what are you doing? First off, paying a 33-year-old $40 million?
That's also James Harden's fault too. Like you have a player like Chris Paul on your team,
Yeah.
share the ball, have him bring it up the court,
why
get
is
an
Harden
offense
playing
going.
point guard? Why is Chris Paul not bringing the ball?
Chris Paul is probably one of the best point guards of all time, in my opinion.
Top 5, top
Yeah.
10, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Give him the ball, bring it up, start an offense. I don't know.
Yeah,
Get
for
some
sure.
screens for James. He's good. He's still a great player.
He can shoot
Great
the ball,
scorer.
but he's not good at point guard. I don't like him at point guard.
Just
I don't like
make
that.
some design. I don't know. Share the ball some more.
With Chris Paul getting older, I think James Harden can only succeed with another top-end All-Star around him.
Yeah, it's true.
Can we see
but
Anthony
no,
Davis?
he's like Russ. He's kind of like Russ. Nobody really wants to play with Russell.
Yeah.
I don't think people want to just go out of their way and play with James Harden either.
Paul George re-signed with the Thunder, and Russ is there, and they're having a good year this year. What are they, third in the
They're
West
having
right
a
now?
fantastic year.
I know they lost the Bulls last night on a game winner by Markkanen, but I mean, they're having a good. I mean, Paul George put up 47 2 games ago after a 23-point comeback. I mean,
Paul George missed a wide open game winner though last night.
Yeah, he did. I still just think that they are a threat in the West.
Yeah.
I think the
They're
West is
playing
a
well.
lot more open than people think. I mean, once Cousins gets back, that's going to be a big indicator of what's
And
going to
now
happen
that
there.
Curry's back, we see that Golden State.
Hey, the
stepping
Cavs
up.
were up at half, and there was only a 2-point game after the third quarter against the Warriors. So I mean,
Yeah, but the Warriors
still-
are back. The Warriors fell to like 5th place in the West without Curry, and now they're back up to tied
second,
for first.
tied for first. Is Memphis still up there? I know that Memphis has been a
So
surprise.
it's
team this
it's
year.
Denver, Golden State, LA, OKC, Memphis. are
LA
top
Clippers or LA Lakers.
Clippers.
I know the Lakers.
Lakers
have
are in
lost.
there at 6.
Lakers have lost 2 of the last 3.
But yeah,
Let's go.
I definitely
Spurs
think
last
the Rockets right now they're 5.5 games out of
The 9th.
no 5.5 out of like the top.
Yeah.
But they're only two games out of playoff.
I tell you right now,
So-
if they have the same team next month, I don't think they can make the playoffs. I really don't.
They need to. I
They need to
agree
make
with
some
you. They
moves.
need to make a move.
They want to get JR. I don't think JR is the guy that they need. In all honesty,
No,
I
I
don't
mean,
think he
I
fills that
think-
void.
I think JR is someone just like Harden. I mean,
Yeah.
JR wants to get the ball and shoot.
Right.
That'll definitely cause some
You'd
locker
be a
room
good
problems.
fit.
I think JR would definitely cause some locker room problems. You saw what happened with Carmelo. I think there'd definitely be some problems there.
Talk
I
about
mean-
locker room problems too. We can go to the Embiid argument as well.
We
Yeah.
can
Unhappy.
for sure. He says he's not. I mean, ever since Butler's gotten here, they've played him out at the perimeter, which I really don't understand why they would do that in the first place. I mean, he's one of the biggest guys in the league.
Yeah.
So for Frank, he was having a freaky good year. He was having like 28 and 12. I mean,
Mm.
really, really good year. And then you started messing with this position. They are still a 2nd seed in the East, which is, I mean, Toronto's kind of running away with it at 21 and 6. But I think they'll figure this out.
I think Embiid's just jealous because last year for the 76ers, he was the guy. Now Jimmy Butler comes in, an all-star, great talent. Now he's becoming the guy, and I think Embiid's getting a little jealous. He just has to learn how to share like shots and stuff like that.
I saw this thing on Twitter. Ben Simmons has taken only 18 shots outside of the paint this year. I mean, that's incredible. Only made 2 of them. Hasn't taken a single 3 all year.
I mean, that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're playing Embiid at a stretch 5 now.
And you can't do that.
To just make room in the middle for Simmons and Butler, the slashers, to just make plays and get to the rim. I know Embiid isn't much of an outside guy. He does a lot of work down low. He's really big, really
But he
physical.
Yeah, but
still can
7'2",
effectively
270.
shoot the 3 ball too.
I
He
get
can
that, but-
shoot it, but it's not
it's
like
not like consistently he can make
he's,
it. Like
he's
wide open
shooting
shot.
20. He's shooting 29% from 3 this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bold,
that's
He can't
bold
make it.
statement
but yeah.
here, but Ben Simmons is hurting their team. Him not being able to shoot an outside ball as a like I said 2-3 who's playing point a big guy, you have to be able to make a 3. You have to be able to first off shoot a 3. Shoot more than 18 shots throughout a year. He's averaging less than 1 shot a game.
But I think
out.
he knows his role though. Like he
I
has
get
a
that,
certain
but you need
role.
to expand your role if you're going to be a star in the NBA.
it's also been said that Simmons and Embiid, they don't get along.
I wouldn't like to play with him either if he's not gonna. He's got to develop a jump shot. I mean, that's why then not having Markelle Fultz, I really think hurts him because Markelle Fultz, when healthy, he's got that shoulder injury that
Just
mess up with the nerves. I mean, he's an effective shooter, and
Yeah.
they don't have that right now except for Jimmy, and Jimmy's trying to do too much.
you just hope that JJ Redick, a veteran, can help bring that locker room together. He's been on many teams, and just I feel like he can bring
Yeah.
that together. Having a veteran like that is very important to a team's success.
You'd almost like to see them not for the locker room status, but for 3 points or shooting things. Maybe go get JR.
Why
Not a
not?
good locker room
think-
guy, but
yeah.
he can shoot the
Why
ball.
not?
I think that brings more trouble to the locker room, but like Z said, I like JJ Redick a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. He's gonna see he sees what they're doing this year. He sees how good they can be. He's gonna bring these guys all together and be like, guys, we gotta we see how good we're playing right now. We got to focus on the team, not ourselves. We have a chance to do something special. I mean, they're so young, playing how they're playing right now. It's just really incredible.
Yeah.
JJ Redick's been on good teams. He knows how to
Yeah.
win. He knows what it takes. He just has to put that in the minds of the young players.
You just got to keep them focused on winning as much as they can, get the highest seed they can, and go in the playoffs with a probably have to face down with Toronto and Boston for
Boston's
the
at the
East.
5 seed right now, which is kind of crazy. Gordon Hayward hasn't been starting the last few games. Kind of curious as to what's going to go on there. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Celtics being very, very active around the trade deadline. Maybe getting rid of Gordon. I think Marcus Smart is as good as gone there. Try to utilize Jaylen Brown a little more, make him the centerpiece. But I would be surprised if Gordon Hayward is on that team past February.
Oh, that's
That's bold.
They went out of their way, signed Gordon Hayward to a big deal in the offseason because he felt like he was underappreciated in Utah. But I really like him there. I think I'm a little concerned about his health maybe on why he has been playing as much as he has been.
Coming off the bench as of recent.
But I really like the way he's been playing. Celtics have a lot of young talent. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Rozier. They're a very good team. Horford as their veteran leader. I think they pull it together.
I don't know why they get rid of Gordon Hayward.
I know, but I mean, they maybe doesn't have a place. I know that they have came out and said that they are shopping Terry Rozier, who the Cavs have shown interest in Terry Rozier, but now after you get
I love
Philly,
to have Terry Rozier.
I know, but he's going to want a big contract next year. You're going to see if he's a good young player to match with Colin Sexton, but I do think they're going to definitely make some moves. I think maybe you put someone like Gordon Hayward, send him to the Wizards. The Wizards maybe need some help there. I know they have Otto Porter, but maybe give him a stretch four.
Yeah, I can see.
I mean, somewhere along those lines. Maybe the Knicks want him.
Dwight Howard coming back from that butt injury.
Yeah, the butt injury.
See that.
A lot of stuff going on there with Dwight Howard. You never know what's going on.
Yeah, the Wizards are another team that's had a lot of things spinning around with John Wall, Bradley Beal, both on the market.
Yeah, they've come out and said they're aggressively trying to trade both or one of them. I heard.
7-3 in their last 10. They're kind of turning around, but I do know that the Knicks as well are actually really making a push to try to get John Wall.
I mean, he's a great player. I know he's. I've heard from other reporters that he's tough to get along with. People don't really like playing with him. But Bradley Beal is who I think is the underappreciated poor man's Klay Thompson. I mean, the guy plays defense. The guy shoots the ball fantastically. He would be a great addition to any team making a playoff run. I know the Lakers should show some interest in him. They're struggling shooting the ball from three. Kuzma's been turning it around a little bit, shooting well.
Caldwell Pope's been playing well.
But to get a guy like Bradley Beal, who's an all-star in his career,
anybody would love to have a player like that.
he can shoot and he defends. And Lakers, they don't play much defense.
He's selfless
but
too.
Yeah.
At the same time.
He knows his role, and he'd be a great addition to any team making
I
a
also
playoff run.
saw this thing that John Wall had said. I don't want to be here in Washington anymore because Beal can't make a shot. Dwight Howard's got butt injuries, so we're gonna see what happens there. So
it's definitely tricky in Washington.
definitely something to look out for. How about Derrick Henry on Thursday Night Football?
I don't know if it's a fluke or not, but that man,
I
he
mean,
run the ball.
I know that Brody showed me his high school stats after that game, and wow. I mean, the
that
guy
99-yard run.
It was. I mean, it's incredible. I don't think anyone in our fantasy league had him. Right now. Yeah, he dropped 4. He's on the waiver
He's
wire.
on the waiver wire.
And we have a 16-team league.
He's owned in probably less than 50% of leagues.
I mean, he puts up like what 48.
48 points.
48
Do you
points.
guys think it's a fluke?
He's definitely underperformed his whole career. He comes into the NFL as a really big name running back from Alabama.
Yeah.
And
Huge
he hasn't performed up to maybe expectations, but when he plays a game like this, you see why he was such a big name, such a big talent. 17 carries for 238 and 4 touchdowns.
It was against a struggling Jacksonville defense.
Yes.
But
Jacksonville played fantastic last week, giving up 0 points to the Colts.
Exactly.
And I mean, Andrew Luck had thrown 3 touchdowns
every
every game this year, and they shut him out.
Yeah.
And then now they just hand the ball off that 99-yard touchdown.
Might be one of the greatest runs of all time.
He threw 2 linebackers.
That's up there with Marshawn's run against the Saints, because those are 2 absolutely outstanding.
I mean, Marshawn's run was in a way bigger situation.
Yeah. But
so that one definitely exceeds it just based on situation alone. But the quality of the run itself, just based on the run, and all-around performance, that might be the best running back performance of all time.
It could be.
In the
Pure
NFL.
running,
17
yeah.
carriages.
Pure running in the NFL.
No
That's
catching passes, just pure running the ball. That is
17
probably
carries.
the best.
I saw this.
238.
Definitely that I've seen, but I don't know.
I saw this thing on Twitter after that came out, and it was Derrick Henry's high school stats. Let me just read some of these top games for you. In a game in high school, senior year in high school, he had 45 carries for 510 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's
Six
just one of
touchdowns 4 times in that season, I believe.
Well, yes, sir.
Read
And
the regional final. where
yeah,
they
the
lost.
regional final when they lost, he had 57 carries for 485 yards and 6 touchdowns.
In a regional final game that they did not win.
And I also saw, he played one half in the week before it was regional semis. 21 carries for 404 and 6 touchdowns in a half.
He definitely has the skills to be a great running back.
He's got the size.
6'5".
He's not going to get hurt.
Yeah.
He's been pretty healthy this whole year. He's just a
I
big
think-
body, and I really like him moving forward.
I just think he's
that-
having trouble transitioning to the NFL. I think that's the biggest
I
struggle
was
for him.
really surprised this offseason when the Titans signed Deion Lewis. I was ready once DeMarco Murray retired for Derrick Henry to finally
I thought he
break
was
out and
gonna
have a big
all
year.
their career, yeah.
I don't think you can blame his stats on solely him this year. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been given not that great of an opportunity. I think he's only had double-digit carries in 4 or 5 games. I think you need to get rid of Deion Lewis after this game and just let Derrick Henry do it. I mean, he's capable of 510 rushing yards in a game.
I think they brought Deion Lewis in. Just DeMarco Murray could catch the ball a little bit. They bring Deion Lewis to replace that void. Deion Lewis in New England was fantastic catching the ball. But I thought they were going to bring him in just solely to be a receiving back. But then they kind of made him the starter, who was giving him rushing attempts. Way more than Henry got the chance. And I just think that's not what Deion Lewis is best at. He's not a power back,
No.
speed, elusive guy, receiving.
He's a good screener.
This definitely gives Henry more carries
for sure.
for the rest of the year. Maybe takes over the roles first and second down. Leave Deion Lewis to catch the ball in third
And it
down.
definitely puts the Titans in a playoff push at 7-6. You never know what's going to happen in that AFC. You got the Bengals, or not the Bengals, the Ravens at 7-5, the Broncos at 6-6. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out with Derrick Henry getting a big role. So I think that'll do it for this week. I mean, covered a lot in sports. Very anxious to see the bowl games getting ready next week. So we'll see you guys next week on the DZB Sports Podcast.